Here are other ways to use your airline credit you may have not thought of. Specifically, I'm going to go over the use cases for Delta Airlines in this video. However, this method is not approved by the banks, so there is a chance you might get blacklisted. A small chance that they'll care or check, but still, a risk nonetheless. So real quick, what does the banks approve of to officially use the airline credit? So officially, according to American Express, the $200 airline credit is supposed to be used for incidental travel fees. So what does incidental fees mean? Usually what it means by incidental fees are checked bag fees, overweight, oversized baggage fees, change fees, phone reservation fees, pet flight fees, airport lounge day passes and annual memberships, seat assignment fees, in-flight amenity fees such as beverages, food, pillows, blankets, etc., and in-flight entertainment fees, excluding wireless internet. And that's pretty limited, especially if you had like a Delta card. Your first checked bag would be covered by the Delta credit card. After that, it would be pretty hard to use the airline credit properly. It's quite a pain in the butt, and it doesn't maximize the true value of the airline credit. So here are some other ways I've hacked the airline credit while flying with Delta. The first one being actually booking an airline ticket. Now you might be saying, wait, that's not in the approved list. How can you book an airline ticket and trigger the airline credit? Well, this is why it's called a hack, and it's also not official. But as I've done and other people have done, we've totally had success doing this. And I'll show you what I did right now with proof. So I wanted to go to Chicago later this year. So I've typed in my origin airport, Lexington, Kentucky, to Chicago. I've always wanted to check out Chicago. I really love the Chicago style food, like the Chicago deep dish pizza, and my wife loves the Chicago hot dogs. So since we haven't been to Chicago yet, I say why not? And I'm booking a round trip for September 20th to the 23rd. And I've actually already booked my wife's ticket using Delta Takeoff 15. But for my airline ticket to Chicago, I'm going to use the airline credit for this one. If you're wanting to use it for the airline ticket, you have to book a cash price. Can't be miles or points, obviously. So just click on search, loading the flights. And now we have some flights loaded up. For me personally, I'm gonna go with Maine because there are so many extra benefits with Maine. So you can't take that flight anymore, or you want to change airports or anything like that. There are no change fees for main cabin seats. So for example, if I didn't want to leave from Lexington Airport, I could just change it to Atlanta Airport if I moved to Atlanta, all without costing anything. But with main cabin, if you needed to cancel a flight, you can cancel the flight and get credit for a future flight. It's almost the same as getting a refundable ticket in my opinion. Oh, and another reason why I like to book the main cabin seat, since there are no change fees, if I find out my flight later on gets cheaper, then I can go ahead and modify the flight and get my points back if I use points to book that flight, or get credit back for my flight that I can use for a future flight, thereby saving me money. You also get the option to choose your seat, and this will come in handy if you want to use your airline credit to upgrade your seat, which I'll talk about later. And that's really the main reasons why I book a main seat over an economy seat, even though a main seat can be more expensive. It's just a nice peace of mind. If you can't take that flight anymore, there's something you can do about it. Then it pops up an option if you want a main cabin seat or a refundable main cabin seat. Now this, I don't think is really worth it. To pay extra for a refundable main cabin seat, when a main cabin seat, even though you can't get it fully refunded in cash, you can get flight credit for it. So almost like a gift card for a future flight. Just click on continue, then choosing a returning flight. And now we're on the checkout screen. And as you can see, my flight is $226.40. And then towards the left, you're given an option to upgrade your seat. Now if you're wanting to use the airline credit to upgrade your seat, this is not the place to do it. You have to wait until you fully book your ticket before you can use the airline credit to upgrade your seat. Now wait, hold on. The airline credit is only for $200. How am I going to use a $200 airline credit on a $226 flight? Well, first, it's totally possible. There are data points out there that if you book a flight under $250, it will trigger the full airline credit. So after you book an airline ticket that's less than $250 onto your card, you would just get the full $200 airline credit. However, even though some data points show that $250 does work to trigger the airline credit, I didn't want to risk not triggering the airline credit. What many other people do and other data points suggest is charging a flight that is less than $200. And that's exactly what I did, using the flight credit or gift card hack. And as you can see right now, my flight is above $200. But what the gift card hack suggests is to go out and maybe buy a $30 Delta gift card, use the gift card to pay down the flight, making my flight $190. Therefore, less than $200 most likely will trigger the airline credit. And you can do this for more expensive flights as well. Maybe you have a flight that's $700. What you want to do is maybe go to a grocery store, look for the Delta gift cards, maybe load $500 on a gift card, take that gift card, reduce the $700 flight using that gift card, therefore leaving $200 left to put on the credit card, therefore still triggering the airline credit. In my use case, I was actually fortunate enough to have flight credit that will reduce my flight under $200. And all I did was when I got to the payment section, click on use e-credits, then I select selected all my credits to apply to this flight, thereby reducing my flight to $170.40, below the $200 mark. Then I just clicked on use e-credits, and then it applied to my ticket. But you wanted to use the gift card method, exactly the same thing. Underneath the payment option, there's an option to add a Delta gift card. Just type in the gift card number, type in the PIN, and then add the gift card. Then it'll reduce the balance that will be charged to your credit card. And as long as you get it under 200, it'll work as of right now. And here's my proof. On February 3rd, I charged my Delta airline ticket of $170.40, and then by February 7th, I was given an airline statement credit of $170.40. So it totally works, as I've tried and tested. As long as you can find a method to reduce your flight to under $200, in most cases it should work. I'm not going to say all, because this isn't guaranteed to work. Just for most people, most of the time, it does work. Like for example, my friend Stanley the Credit Frog, he used this exact same method but a little bit differently. Instead of booking a Delta Airlines flight, he booked with Southwest. And instead of booking a round trip ticket, he booked 4 one-way tickets with Southwest Airlines. And for him, it only took 5 days to post the airline credit. And another time of this working is with my friend Luke's Points and Miles, where he did the exact same thing as Stanley the Credit Frog. He just booked 4 cheap Southwest airline tickets, and in about 5 days, the airline credit posted to his account. So even with different airlines, it does work. If you wanted to go a step further, I've heard other people do this before, but I personally haven't. You know how I was saying a main cabin seat you can get e-flight credits if you cancel the flight? Well, I've heard of some people who know they're not traveling this year. They'll go onto Delta and book a main cabin seat, just anywhere random, as long as it's under $200, just to trigger the airline credit, and after they book the ticket, they'll just cancel the flight and get e-flight credits to use for a more expensive flight for maybe next year. So you can kind of stack the credits. One thing to note though, if you do go with this route, is e-flight credits usually expire within a year. So keep that in mind if you decide to go with that method. But we're not done there. There are other ways to use your airline credit, like for example with taxes and fees. So as you can see on February 3rd, I also booked my wife's ticket using Takeoff 15. And even though you're booking a flight using miles, there are still taxes and fees that you still have to pay. So I just went ahead and charged the taxes and fees to my platinum card. And on the same day, February 7th, I was also given a credit of $11.20. And it fully reflects in my airline fee credit chart, where I've used $181.60 out of my $200 airline fee credit, with only $18 left to go, which I'll use on my Vegas trip on September 2nd to pay for the taxes and fees, thereby fully and easily using my airline fee credit. But hold on, we're not done. You remember towards the middle of this video, I was talking about using the airline fee credit to pay for seat upgrades. And you're totally right, I've used this last year actually. Here's an important thing to note though, you have to book a main cabin seat or above for this to work. Because when you book an economy or basic seat, you cannot upgrade that seat. You are stuck in economy class. However, you do book a main cabin seat or above, you can use the airline credit to upgrade your seat. All you have to do is log in, click on My Trips, choose the flight you want to upgrade the seats on, then choose Change or Purchase Seat. And then you'll have the option to pay for an upgraded seat. Like if you wanted to upgrade a main cabin seat to a Delta Comfort Plus seat, all you have to do is click on the seat you want in Delta Comfort Plus, and then it'll show you how much it will cost, so $20.43. Or if you wanted to book a first class seat, just click on the first class seat you want to book. So if I wanted to upgrade to a first class seat, it would cost me $127.93. And after you're done choosing your seats, just click on Review and Pay, and just charge the seat upgrade to your card that has the airline fee credit. And then a few days later, it could take up to 8 weeks, you should see the airline statement credit. But yeah, and those are better ways in my opinion to use the airline credit when flying with Delta. And I'll see you later.